Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Today I wanted to talk about Subsumption, the mission system, and the ATC, or Air Traffic Control, with some updated info about what's coming in 3.0 and future intentions as well. So Subsumption. Subsumption in Star Citizen is the collection of systems including AI, the mission system, and many more. It basically governs AI and NPC behaviour, as well as their generation, item and loot spawning, missions, counter missions. It's part of the economy as well, and it's tied to basically anything in the core system of the game that requires AI or generation of some kind. The generation of missions is also governed by Subsumption, obviously, and Subsumption will work out what crew and how and where they spawn on a ship, and ships that are needed for encounters on the NPC and AI side. So it will go, you need lots of pirate ships, which have 2 or 3 crew on each, and it will work out what positions they spawn in and all that sort of stuff. This is also able to spawn larger ships, even capital vessels, with the correct amount of crew and security. It allows for and defines loot and mission item spawning. The old missions have been basically ripped apart as well, and their parts have been added to Subsumption. So missions that we have in 2.6.3 and before, like the Kovalex mission, the ICC mission probes with Tessa, they've all been ripped out of 3.0 and added back in their component parts to help build out those missions. And we'll see some simple missions in 3.0. It could be as simple as collecting a box and bring it to a station, but that mission can then have thousands of variants from different places and different outcomes, as well as different encounters along the way. Pathfinding, animations, usables being interacted with, and even eventually AI following us as wingmen or on the ground through the buddy system. That's all part of the NPC AI and Subsumption. So the mission system, choice and consequence, is a major part of Star Citizen and a core game theory for it. The mission system is built from many modular parts. When you get a mission, it's generated from a number of variables and building blocks, giving you a unique experience every time. The 3.0 alpha is going to have some quite simple variables though. So it will be type of mission, whether it's kill a target, kill waves, collect an item, investigate an area. There's going to be mission zones that are all variables as well. So whether it's moonside on an outpost, or in the open, or derelicts, or an area in space, or a different point of interest. And then what enemies you're going to fight, what pirates spawn is going to be a variable, what encounter and loot you'll get at an area. Are there going to be encounters to and from the mission when you're trying to get back? We do get jumped by pirates on the way. There's also going to be counter missions as well. So missions may be generated in response to another mission being given. These may be to prevent another player from completing their objective or retrieve the same item that another player is trying to do, but take it to a different location. The mission system will eventually dynamically create missions and encounters based on what is happening in the system, supply and demand, other mission outcomes, trade routes, the wealth of a system, the population of players, what security forces are like. If there's loads of security forces, if it's a UEE system, then you might encounter the UEE forces taking down a couple of pirates as you turn up to an area or try and get back home. In rougher areas, you might see lots of pirates and then like small private security forces encountering them out in the verse, with more pirate reinforcements coming to assist them if it's in a really dangerous area. There's also going to be some handcrafted missions. Now, handcrafted missions differ because they're more like a theme park ride. These have had artist work on every aspect of them, rather than relying on more random elements that the system would generate for typical missions. These are more scripted story missions, possibly with multiple outcomes, and typically have a lot of NPC interaction, voice work, and time spent on them with a higher quality narrative. It's very much sort of like a mission you'd get in a single player game. So we're going to have very simple missions in 3.0. Collection of things, kill things, that sort of stuff. Go kill these pirates over here. Very similar missions to what we had with 2.6.3, but with lots more possible outcomes and variants. Going forward, they're going to be adding lots more mission types, variants, and different paths to missions from patch to patch. In shorter term, after 3.0, expect to see patrol missions, assassination missions, defense missions, and some ground-based missions as well, transport and cargo missions. But 3.0 doesn't have combat-based NPCs on the ground, so expect to start to see that implemented 3.1, 3.2 sort of thing, as well as a lot more mission-based combat on the ground in general. After 3.0, we're going to see service beacons as well. This will be allowing players to set distress beacons, request services like rescuing, refueling, and other simple requests, as well. Further out, we're We're going to see player-made contract submissions, so players will be able to go, I want someone to go and do this, and put it up on the job board, and then NPCs and players will be able to accept that. So let's talk more about the ATC, or Air Traffic Controller System. Previous to 3.0, landing was a much more free-form experience when landing at landing zones and ship spawn areas. We're still going to be able to freely land in lots of places, but at landing pads and landing zones, there is a process of requesting a landing. This ATC system will govern where, who, and when you can land at landing zones for both players and technically NPCs in the future. It also governs the spawning and despawning of ships. Subsumption ties into this, as there is an NPC operator you will literally interact with when requesting a landing. It will appear as a comm call, and you'll go, yes, you can land here. So that NPC exists in-universe, and you could potentially watch them work, or even appear in the background of their comms calls to ships, as in many cases when you request a landing using the render-to-texture and secondary viewport system, you'll be able to see a video link to the operator, and that is actually happening, that video link. It is a live stream, effectively, of what's going on around that operator, or wherever they use that secondary viewport tech. If the NPC operator is busy when you try and land, the automated computer system may answer you instead, or a different NPC might answer you. In larger landing zones, you can have lots of NPCs, and obviously the automated system is helping out as well. These NPC operators will be tailored to the zone, so in Grimhex, operators might be unprofessional outlaws, and at Port Olisar might be very professional people there that are obviously employed effectively to do that. And as we go forward, we're going to start to see schedules for NPCs. NPCs will have 24-hour schedules every day, so they'll go to work, return home. Some NPCs might have night shifts, others will work during the day, and it will depend on when you go to a landing zone what NPCs you'll see based on what they're doing. They have lives, they have needs, they'll need to go and eat and that sort of stuff, and potentially those NPCs could be killed or delayed, and that would mean that a different NPC would take their place, or someone would be hired, or the automated computer will kind of deal with landings or whatever their job role is in the meantime. The ATC will also watch out for odd and unwanted landing behaviour, so mistakes and accidents might be forgiven, but there are trolls, there are people that are going to want to do criminal stuff, so expect fines, expect criminal ratings for some dangerous offenders that ram and crash ships or try and do something like turning on their weapons in an area where they've requested no weapons fire. It's likely that on city planets and some hero zones that you'll have very specific flight corridors to fly down, and deviating from that could result in your ship being auto-landed or shot out of the sky. Eventually, Star Citizen won't have armistice zones at all, so those are areas where you can't fire weapons that we have currently in 2.6.3, but there's going to be consequences for you pulling out a weapon or turning on your weapon systems, and security measures to kind of prevent players from freely murdering others. And that was kind of it for the new information that we had for the ATC and mission systems. Every month we give away a ship for September. It's a Nox Q. All you need to do is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and comment on any of my Star Citizen content during that month. Do you have any questions about the news, about Alpha 3.0, Star Citizen's development in general, or Subsumption in any of its forms? A special thank you to my Patreons who allow me to create the amount of content I do. If you're interested in becoming one of them, there's links to Patreon below, as well as everything else we've talked about. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help me, and I'll see you in the verse.